So as some of you know, I am working on a book called Social Collaboration for Dummies, which will come out looking something like this, except it will have my name on the cover. And in between will be hundreds of pages worth of wisdom, most of which I haven't written yet, about 3/4 of which I have not written yet. But I've written some of it. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about the point of this book. Now, it's not necessarily for dummies. We don't think that everybody who buys a copy is a dummy. That's not the point of the series. The point is to break things down into basic terms and not assume too much in terms of using jargon, assuming that you understand all the principles. But the book is not also about being social, not in the sense of flirting or making jokes, not quite the same kind of stuff that you do on Facebook, but you're trying to apply those same kinds of principles within a company. Now, why would a company want to do this? Well, you've heard the saying that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Bruce is nodding over here. And it's true. You hear it from your Chamber of Commerce. Good salespeople tend to be good networkers. They know people who know people. And it's true inside of companies, too. Because every company has its formal processes, and every company, every day, has formal processes that don't quite work. They have the computerized form that has check boxes that are supposed to cover every possible scenario, and someday comes up where whatever's going on does not fit into those check boxes. So the people who get things done are people who know who to reach out to, who can answer questions, solve problems for them. So in that sense, social collaboration is nothing new. It's existed since time began, since business began anyway. But what is new is the digitization of it. So we're taking social media, social networking technologies and trying to apply them to business. And there's a whole body of theory around this. We tend to have our strong connections. So on Facebook, you have some people who are friends, real friends, and you have friends, people who are Facebook friends, who you're connected to loosely. But you also have people who you may reach if you share something about an upcoming event, the Toastmasters open house, for example. I was trying to get you all a few months ago to share the news that we were going to do a Toastmasters open house, because there are people that you're connected to who I'm not connected to. So when I share it on Facebook, it goes out to a certain body of people, but if I can get all you to share it with your people, I reach a much larger audience. And the same kind of thing goes on within companies, where there are people in other parts of the company, particularly in a large company. There will be people who are in other offices, they're in other business units, they may be in other countries. And those may be the people who have the answer to your question. Those may be the people who have the introduction that they can make to a great customer prospect. Now, my editor at Wiley, my project editor, wanted to understand a little bit more about how this works. So I invited her into a service called Yammer. And she immediately said, oh, I see what this is. It's kind of like Facebook, except instead of sharing baby photos, you share spreadsheets. And that's essentially the concept. Yammer is one of the best known of these products. Microsoft bought it just last year for $1.2 billion. The other one that you may have heard of, particularly if you're in sales, is Chatter. Chatter is operated by Salesforce.com, so it's kind of, you get a basic version of Chatter for free if you're using the Salesforce.com tool to organize your sales contacts, your sales leads. And in Chatter, part of the idea is that you can share sales opportunities. You can share information about a customer. you can ask for that person who has contacts on a customer. My employer is actually a multinational publishing and events company. And I don't really realize how big it is day to day because I deal with a small group of people. But when I sign on to our internal enterprise social network, I can see things that are going on in other divisions, in other parts of the world. And sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's not. But there are best practices we share on things like how to do the best search engine optimization on articles, how to make those headlines ones that will get picked up by Google, that will get shared on Facebook, which means money to us ultimately. And our CEO is actually active on the network. He allowed me to share a screenshot for the book of his activity on the social network. And actually at the top on that day was something about Richie Havens having died. And he shared a bunch of music clips from Richie Havens, who was known for performing at Woodstock. So not business-oriented content that day at the top of the list. The second item, he was actually a little bit embarrassed because it was such a cliche, was something about the weather in whatever city he was visiting. But believe me, most days it's something about business strategy. I was talking with some people from State Street, an international financial firm, the other day. And they are trying to get people to share things about big accounts. One of their obstacles is that, you know, even some of the younger people coming in who you might think are more social media savvy and would use the tool, they're so overworked that they don't spend time away to have activity on the social network. But you use things predictably, pretty much as you would use any other social network, and don't underestimate the power of the like button. Just clicking like on an item is a way of making it more visible to more people, and as a result, somebody may see it who has the answer, who has the solution, and social collaboration saves the day. Mr. Toastmaster.